Gotta get more followers.
Everyone, today's video going to be talking about how to prevent trading tilt, aka how to master your emotions. This applies to traders near and far, all disciplines, all different products. Guys, it's a problem I think we can all relate to. Let's get to how to handle some of that tilt. Before we get to it, a little bit about my trading background so you know who I am and where I come from. I started trading futures contracts in 2020. I spent several months researching futures trading, funded futures trader programs, trade methodology, and lots more. Before diving in, start my YouTube channel later 2020. I want to track and show my trader evaluation progress. Started my website in 2021 with information for newer traders. Wanted to pass on all the info that I learned kind of the hard way. Launched a free trading course late 2021. You'll still find that on my website. Everything on my site is free, and have passed evaluations with various trader evaluation prop firms in excess of 1 million, up to about 1.7 now in funding. I'll talk later at the end of the video just briefly about what those are, but basically companies that will provide the funding and you trade their capital. And I haven't had a real job, in quotes, since 2007. Real job meaning, I go to work or have a boss. None of that. A quick look at my website. Guys, you can go and visit. I mainly focus on funded futures trader programs and the latest deals. I keep up reviews on all the different companies. Also, though, have my free futures course, reviews the software I use, articles, ton of free resources. Everything on my site is 100% free. I don't charge for anything. I never will. If you want to be notified of new deals, discounts, and whatnot, you can sign up for the super secret elite notification club. So before we get started, guys, I swear we're getting to it. Trading is not easy. I think we all know that. Most people do fail. It doesn't matter what products you trade. It is a tough way to make a living for sure. Read those disclaimers at the beginning of the video, all about how you are going to lose all of your money trading. So I don't talk trade setups, especially in this video. This will be more high-level concepts. We're going to be talking about tilt. Already mentioned, but I don't sell anything. I just share information that I've learned over the years. Hopefully it's helpful for other traders, whether you're new or you have several years under your belt. And if you're here, just keep an open mind. You found this video for a reason. You were probably searching about trader tilt and how to avoid it. Well, let's go over some points and see if I can hopefully give you something new to think about. So first, what is tilt? So the technical dictionary definition is to move or cause to move in a sloping position. Going on tilt basically means a change in your emotional state. And it's typically negative. You never hear somebody going on tilt in a positive way. It's typically referred to in a negative way. It's used in lots of different industries, not just trading. Poker players very much use going on tilt. They take a series of losses, they play hands. Maybe they play hands where statistically they should have won, and they lose. So that rattles them a little bit. Video game players, especially esports, all that, video game players very much have to deal with going on tilt. And bring it back to trading, traders after a series of losses, maybe after a series of days of losers. So you kind of see the theme here. It's usually after a series of losses or trades or plays or whatever it might be, where you felt like you should have at least won some of those, but you lost enough of them that it kind of upsets the apple cart. And it's kind of hard to specifically say how that feels internally to go on tilt. But basically the other term I do use is like rattle your cage. You're a little shaken up. You're not at your best performance after going on tilt. So when it comes to dealing with tilt, prevention before it even happens. So how can we be kind of proactive in preventing tilt? So, you almost need to experience tilt a few times to understand how it affects you before you can figure out ways to prevent it up front. So chances are you aren't immune to tilt though, and you've already gone through this. So if you've already been tilted several times in trading, whether it's, in the last week, the last month, just over your career, you're probably at the point of wanting to stop it, and you already kind of know what that means for you to go on tilt. What sets you off? How long does it take for you to be set off? I think an important thing to do is to really realize that not every day is a winning day. Not every trade is a winning trade. Easy to say, but actually think and reflect on that. In trading, I like to use myself as an example. My win rate is about 63%. That means only roughly 6 to 7 out of 10 trades are going to be winners. That also means that 3 or 4 trades out of those, 10 is going to be a loser. You have to be okay with that. And sometimes those losers come in a row. So you need to have a plan of action ready. We're going to talk a little bit more later about having a plan of action ready, but basically what to do when you're kind of in the midst of it, in the throes of being set on tilt. But again, taking a step back and something to kind of chew on is realize that being a successful trader isn't just about winning trades. It's about managing emotions. There's a huge component of trading, which is emotional, psychological, and you really want to devote the time to kind of steer the ship in the right direction when it comes to your emotions. Because you can take the best trade setups in the world and they just aren't all going to work out. And if you're easily tilted, that's going to put you in a state where you're not taking great trades anymore. You're probably going to take worse trades. You're going to be further tilted when those don't work out, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. So recognizing it up front and coming up with a plan on how to handle it is your best plan of action. So let's say, though, you're trading away, it's a given day, you start to feel yourself go on tilt. You've gone through it enough, you're thinking, you know what, I really want to work on this, and I feel myself starting to get into that kind of emotional state where I'm just on tilt. Cage is rattled, I'm mad, at the screen, at the market. Well, one thing to keep in mind is that tilt shouldn't be, and typically isn't, just an on-off switch. It's not like you go from completely stable, making great decisions to 100% on tilt. It kind of builds up, one bad trade, then another bad trade. Maybe you start to get a little bit annoyed, and then another bad trade. And when I say bad trade, they might have been good trades technically, but they just didn't work out. So bad just meaning, they lost, and bad might just be interpreted as they rattle you. Maybe it was a winning trade, but you didn't make as much as you expected to. So the first key is to be able to have that sort of self-awareness to recognize that you're starting to go on tilt, and each person is unique. You might sigh, you might swear, you might scream, you might, throw your keyboard on the floor. Everybody is different. For me, I start to sigh, roll my eyes like, I can't believe this, what in the hell is going on? That is my first sign. Like, okay, when I start saying those types of things, I know that I'm on the quick road to Tiltsville. Some people start to blame other people. They say, hey, I can't believe the market's not continuing to go up. Anyone should know that the market should be going up here. Why is it going down? Well, if you think about it from the poker perspective, you blame the other players for not playing how you think they should have played, and thus their play impacted you. So you start blaming others, you start blaming the market. As well, several times. I see this actually all the time. People taking things personally. The market is out to get them. They set their stop loss and the market came down and just took it out. Institutions are out there to personally screw with you, and now you're just mad. Well, unfortunately, that's not the actual case in reality of what's happening, but that's how it feels like. So you need to kind of recognize that you're starting to be triggered by all the things that send you into the state of tilt, and now it's time to do something about it. So, bit of a plan of action when you're in it, when you're in tilt. My recommendation, this is what worked for me. Again, I'm not saying I'm immune to this stuff at all. I've definitely gotten better over the years dealing with it, and I honestly do attribute a lot of my success to being able to kind of master the emotional side of trading. Literally just log out, close your screen, walk away. Just stop, hard stop, cut yourself off from trading. I really do believe that the cycle is kind of a tilt death spiral. Think about it. Let's use an example. Let's say you're starting to go on tilt, the trades are starting to get to you, but you decide not to walk away. So you take your next trade. Well, there's, going to be two outcomes. It's either a winning trade or a losing trade. If it's a winning trade, chances are that's not enough to write you back into a nice, normal, emotional state where you're making good decisions. You'll just feel a little bit better. Okay, finally I won one. What's the other option? You lose the next trade. Guess what? That's just going to send you further into the tilt. Now you're even more annoyed. Now you're down more money. And then rinse and repeat. At some point, even if you have that winning trade, if you take another trade, now you're back to, well, the next trade might be a loser, and then that's just going to send you. So basically, when you're kind of in full tilt mode, winning trades aren't going to take you out of it, but losing trades are going to send you further into it. So nothing really good can come of continuing to trade. And that's why I say just walk away. Just cut it off. Don't say, oh, one more trade, any of that. Just cut it off. So the other thing you can do is put in guardrails. I've done some of these things myself. So this is sort of prevention up front. Any broker will allow you to set a daily loss limit, a weekly loss limit. If you find yourself repeatedly either going on tilt or just taking big losers in general, set a daily loss limit. You can also limit your account based on product. I'm going to use a futures example here. NQ. Not a fan of NQ. I've seen many people just get completely wrecked trading NQ. It's very volatile. It moves very fast. But sometimes people don't want to trade it, but they get attracted to it. They want to test it out. It's almost like gambling. They want to see if maybe this time at the tables will be the time they get a big winner. So you can limit your account. If that is honestly a problem for you and you find yourself going back to products that you know you shouldn't be trading, have your brokerage set it so you can only trade the products which you specifically list. So the other thing too, don't consider these guardrails as a negative. If you, let's say you put a daily loss limit in place and you limit your account so you can't trade certain products, and then a week later you find yourself kind of regretting it. You're saying, damn, I wish, I'm hitting my daily loss limit every single day. I really wish I could go trade NQ. It's probably a good thing you have those guardrails in place. If you are finding the guardrails to be limiting on your trading, but you put those in place knowing full well that you needed to do that, it's probably a good thing. So, for example, say you set a $500 daily loss limit on your account. I mean, it varies completely based on, what size you trade and your account balance and whatnot. But let's say a daily loss limit of $500. And then starting the next week, Monday, you take a $500 loss and you're cut out for the day. Tuesday, you take a $500 loss. Wednesday, you take a $500 loss. And each day, when you hit that loss limit, your account's just not closed, but it's shut down for the day. You can't take any more trades. And if by Thursday you're saying, damn it, I wish I didn't have this daily loss limit. Well, I think the bigger problem is that you keep hitting the daily loss limit. The way I look at things like that, the daily loss limit, knowing what that is, knowing that if you hit that, you're going to be shut out for the day, I personally find that keeps me in check. I don't want to go anywhere near that daily loss limit. And again, you're not losing your account or anything like that. You just will be locked out for the rest of the day. So I know for me, it has a good impact. I only take premium trades and I'm quick to cut losers because I know that every loser is getting me close to that daily loss limit. So I definitely encourage people to do that and don't consider it a negative to put these things in place. Really, they are helpful. And you might be saving your account by using them. So after the fact, let's say, it's a bad day, you go on tilt. Maybe you do some of those things. You walk away, you shut your computer down, walk away, cool off, give it a few hours, change your emotional state. So what can you do now? So review the trades that you took. Look back at them and see, what went on. Were they good trades that you just got unlucky in? Were they bad trades? Were they progressively bad trades? I feel like that's kind of the typical scenario. Maybe they were good trades, but you got unfortunate, you got a little bit unlucky, whatever you want to call it, on a few trades. Then you start taking worse and worse trades because you want to fight yourself out of this deficit that you put yourself into. So look at your trades, look at how they progressed, and also think of your tilt relative to where you were. You could rate how you dealt with it. If you had a few losers and all of a sudden your plan of action was to double your size and just take random trades and not have any specific setup, that's not a great way to go about trading. So I would rate that pretty poorly. So it can kind of hurt to look back at what you did, but it's a good reminder because the next time you're in that situation, the back of your head, you might remember, oh, last time I did this, it didn't work out very well. I should really try a different approach. And even think that through. Think about, okay, what would I do next time if I'm in this position? If I'm 3 trades in, each trade's been a loser, I would say they were all good setups. It's just all 3 of them went against me. That's about the time I started to tilt. What will I do next time? Because then the next time that does happen, and I'm sure it will happen again, you might have the insight to say, you know what, now it's time to just shut it down for the day. Today's not my day. It's not going my way. Let's live to fight another day. And then also think about what will you put in place to make that happen? Do you need to put those, guardrails in? Limit your daily loss limit, limit which products you're trading. Sometimes the problem is, as I mentioned, the products that you're trading, not necessarily. So some final points, trading's a hard way to make an easy living. I say it all the time. Everyone is subject to tilt. Some personalities are more well equipped to deal with it. If you're kind of a cool collect cucumber, you might not run into tilts as much. If you're an emotional person or emotional trader, you might be tilted every single day. So you're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. You can always work on improving and you can work on eliminating tilt. Again, I speak from my own experience. Like everyone else, when I started trading, when you have a few great trades, you feel like you're the best trader on earth. You have a few bad trades or trades that go against you and you didn't think they should. All of a sudden, you go on tilt, everybody's out to get you, etc. So work on eliminating it and you'll find yourself trading much more kind of even keel. The bad trades no longer rattle you. You know that that's just part of trading. Not every trade's going to be a winner. So trading's already difficult enough as it is. You don't need more hurdles So just work on eliminating the tilt. And I really do mean invest the time to figure out, what's going to set you off, fix it, and you kind of do the stuff away from the screen. A lot of benefit could be had for traders if they worked on things away from the screen. There's lots of psychological and emotional exercises you could be doing to help out your trading, like working on eliminating tilt. So guys, that is it. Hopefully this helped out some traders out there. My website, CanadianFuturesTrader.ca, social media on my website. My main focus is funded futures trader programs. That wasn't the focus of this video. Basically proprietary firms out there that you take an evaluation. If you show that you're a competent trader, you pass the evaluation, the companies will fund you to trade. And usually that results then in sort of a 80-20 or 90-10 split where you keep, say, 90% of the profits. They keep 10% for putting up the capital. It's a great arrangement. I'm funded by many different companies. A lot of these companies run discounts. I also write reviews. All that information is on my website, so be sure to check that out. I want to thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out some of the other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.